How did you guys like it? Let's keep talking here about the creatures, gods, or demons of Gravity Falls. First creature. Here you can learn very little. I don't remember if it actually appeared in the series, but probably not. Its main focus is the YouTube miniseries Dipper and the Anomaly, or 8 Bizarre Gods and Demons of Gravity Falls. Number 2, Cartoon Mythology.
Welcome to Dipper's Guide to the Unexplained Anomaly, 42 the Tooth.
Well, the anomaly is number 42, called the Tooth. The video starts with Dipper showing us a giant tooth found near a pond, with Mabel beside him poking that disgusting thing.
I'm here. For comparison?
Dipper said he found it by chance. The tooth is like a human's, just 200 times bigger. And, of course, Dipper would go after finding out who owns that big tooth. Then, Dipper goes to a fishing shop and asks the clerk if he knows anything about the tooth. The clerk is turned away, right? When he says he knows nothing about the tooth, I thought he'd turn and show it. I don't know, maybe he has weird teeth, but no. He tells Dipper to be careful with the lake. If he saw some bubbles in there, he should get out of there. Then he turns and tells Dipper that he doesn't know anything about any tooth, and that he'd better stop asking questions.
A piece of advice from a friend, kid. If you see bubbles in that lake, run. What? Why? Enough questions. Get that thing out of here.
But Dipper, Mabel, and Urso get to the lake to investigate. Well, in this case, Urso ends up staying behind out of nostalgia.
Terrible. Everyone hates Urso.
Dipper, who would hate Urso?
Contrary to what the guy who ran the bait shop said, Dipper, he doesn't avoid the water bubbles. He seeks them out and naturally finds them. Then suddenly, an earthquake starts to happen in the area, and a little island that was there ends up turning into a giant floating head which had a missing tooth, and it starts chasing Dipper and Mabel. It says, "Come to me," or something like that. Oops.
Come to me, come to me, come to me.
There's a cut in Dipper's recording, and he suddenly appears by the lake. Where is he? He says they barely escaped because that big head bit the boat. And in the process, he lost another tooth.
But most importantly, we barely survived.
Oh yeah, someone here said barely.
If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support means a lot. Thanks. The ghosts appear in an episode called The Inconvenience. I think they're in more than one, but let's focus on this one. The episode starts with Stan leaving the store and telling Andy and the others to work. Andy brings Dipper and Mabel to the area on the house's roof. Cool. Look at this. Wow, cool.
Cool, you brought all this stuff here.
Dipper realizes he likes Wendy. He shouts goodbye to her and laughs nervously. Bye, Wendy.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, what is it? Is someone in love?
And that makes Mabel realize that Dipper is in love with Andy, but Dipper denies it, right? He says it's not like he stays up all night thinking about her. But then it cuts to a scene of him awake thinking about her.
Okay, I just think Wendy is cool, all right? I don't stay up all night thinking about her.
The attempt to spend some time with Wendy, or maybe to get to know her better. Dipper invites himself to hang out with her and her friends, and Mabel tags along. So they go to an abandoned place called Dusk 2 Down. Here is the
We are at
damn Dusk 2 Down. There's a scene where Dipper is embarrassed trying to open the door, but he manages to impress the group, even that dark Squidward over there. You're cool. That's it, man. Good job. Oh my God, you naughty. When they go in, they start grabbing candy and even eating it. And it's good to remember that this factory was abandoned, right? Who knows how old that candy was? Anyway, forget about diarrhea. Mabel even hallucinates after eating the famous candy there. And then when the guys ask for more ice, which was being put in one of the guys' pants, Dipper goes to get that ice, and a bizarre creature appears inside the freezer. It was a floating brain with a mouth and eyes, yeah. Anyway, it's a really bizarre thing. Dipper closes the freezer and the monster just disappears. Then many strange things happen, like Dipper seeing the group's reflection as skeletons. And even when Dipper lies down on a body outline there on the floor, some effects start happening. and a girl with purple hair disappears, but she's a supporting character, so nobody really cares. What? Update? A supporting character is trapped there with a game, tries to escape, but everything is locked. And then Mabel is possessed. You can leave. But before leaving, the hot dog is on sale. I know it sounds crazy, but I need to try it. The issue is resolved when Dipper admits he's not a teenager. The ghosts are the owners of the place, right? They owned the place and tried to make things chill, but really wanted revenge. It was teenagers. When we were alive, teenagers were a nightmare in our store. They were always bothering the customers with that loud music and those disrespectful short pants. Then after that, Dipper does a little sheep dance right there and the ghosts go away. Look, don't worry, we won't ever come back again. Well, Gifany is the main character in a romance simulator game, right? It's called Romance Academy 7, something like that. And she ends up falling in love with the player to the point of using extreme violence whenever the player gets close to anyone else besides her. While the programmers were developing Gifany's game, they realized that she had tendencies, obsessive, and tried to delete her. But she kind of got her revenge and deleted them in a way that's, let's say, a bit more polite to put it, right? So it ended up happening. 3 unlucky guys ended up buying it and developed the game. In the episode Suze and the Real Girl, I wish it were like that. The English name is Suze and the Real Girl. When Suze looks for a way to help him learn how to talk to girls, he ends up buying her game. He immediately likes the simulation, right? Like any weirdo. Although he thinks she's not real, he quickly becomes addicted and plays for 13 hours straight. He even ends up missing work for the first time, so Dipper and Mabel go looking for him. And they end up finding him playing. They decide to take him to the mall to try to get him to talk to real girls. However, Gifany follows him through power lines. Well, as Suze gets more and more nervous around real women, he feels relieved to see Gifany, although a little suspicious. He kind of ignores the suspicions he has and keeps playing the game there. Later, Suze meets and sets up a date with Dipper. He tries to break up with Gifany, who gets furious at everything she sees. So Suze pauses the game, which makes her even more upset. Then he goes on the date with Melody, taking Gifany's CD with the intention of returning it. As far as Suze knows, Gifany is able to leave the CD and follow him. At the restaurant, she appears on multiple monitors and video games, takes over a band, and tries to get rid of Melody. Hello?
Friends, the little owl broke.
Suze does his best to protect his wife there, and also Dipper and Mabel, who ended up going there to supervise the date. I'm sorry, Suze, but...
You can't run away from our relationship, just...
Gifany is furious and tries to upload Suze's brain into the game so they can be together forever. But Suze melts her game disc in a pizza oven. Which makes it seem like Giffin's code is destroyed along with the game itself. However, the book says Giffen survived the game's destruction and ended up in an arcade version close to Fight Fighters, where she kind of decided to hit on one of the characters. It's through the internet, if you don't mind.
A relationship with a girl I can see through the computer? That's perfect.
While luring victims, Arachnomorphs appear as normal humans. Darlene, the only seen arachnomorph, disguises herself as an attractive woman to lure Stan, right? But the Organ Spider's pamphlet shows a male version of an arachnomorph in its true form. They have large spider abdomens and legs, while their upper body is either a human disguise or a spider's body. Arachnomorphs are highly intelligent and cunning. They lure their human victims with their charisma to a place where they can be alone with them. Then they reveal their true form.
Men fall very easily.
The Angel of Love is a cherub capable of making people fall in love through some love potions. Since the internet kind of does his job nowadays, he started a second career as a musician. In his namesake episode, The Angel of Love, comes to Grafton Falls to perform at the Woodstick Festival. He arrives at a diner, showing off his skills at making people fall in love. After chatting, Mabel steals one of his potions to make Robbie and Thumbry fall in love. Sometime later, when Mabel goes to his van to recover it, it's the only arachnomorph that can be used to restore a human's life. To restore a human's life. And the arachnomorph, the only arachnomorph sprinkler, the Teotab Sprinkler Arachnomorph by author Rustande. And the author is Rustande. And the author is Rustande. And the author is Rustani and calls the Doctor. The lake monster Gobo Wonker, a legendary creature from Graffiti Falls, appears in the second episode of Season 1, Dipper. Mabel and Susie set out to capture proof of the legendary lake monster, aiming to win $1,000 and a monster photography contest. The Gobo Wonker first appears when Stan takes Dipper and Mabel to Graffiti Falls Lake for family time. But old McGucket runs to the Kaiser, warning everyone that he saw the Gobo Wonker at Graffiti Falls. And of course, the crowd there doesn't really believe him, especially because McGucket is kind of the local crazy guy. And after Susie, Dipper, and Mabel are kind of chased by the monster into a cave, it crashes and short circuits. Then they discover that in fact the so-called lake monster was actually a robot built by old McGucket himself, who often creates extremely dangerous and very destructive robots, usually when he feels neglected or upset. But it kind of ends up being revealed to us that the lake really does have the real Gobo Wonker, because it swallows the camera Dipper left while swimming at the lake's bottom at the episode's end. And it's also shown to us there in one of the episodes. One of Old Man McGucket's erased memories shows that, in fact, he saw something big in the lake, which is probably the real Gobo Wonker. This is also from Dipper's Guide, and he's investigating a guy who's always turned to the left no matter what he's doing. Man.
The anomaly anchor, proud, king photos.
Mabel thinks Dipper is crazy, and probably a lot of other people would think so too. But it's really weird that the guy is always facing to the left. Dipper approaches the guy and tries to get him to show the right side. But it didn't work until Dipper ends up pushing him and manages to reveal something really weird.
What?
The guy was actually a robot controlled by small green beings, and when they're discovered, they kind of self-destruct, they destroy themselves. If you know what I mean, it's intense. In the end, the robot destroys itself. The multi-bear, of course, right? A big black bear with 8 heads and 12 limbs. He has his main head, which is capable of speaking like a human. He even has a brain that would be the main one of the creature, and it's surrounded by 4 other tetraheads. In the neck area, he has other heads, one on his back attached to a separate, partially formed body, and also on his groin. Well, Dipper ended up being relieved by Manitoris to kill the multi-bear and bring back one of its heads as a final test to prove his manliness. When Dipper arrived, a multi-bear displayed unexpected civility. He told Dipper that fighting him would be foolish and that if he didn't leave, he would be killed. But Dipper refused to leave, and the multi-bear then began to face Dipper in combat. The multi-bear found Dipper too agile and small and fell on his back after being choked by Dipper's spear grip. At his death, the multi-bear accepted his fate and requested only to die listening to his favorite song. Dipper ended up granting his request, but to his surprise, he discovered that the multi-bear really liked the song Disco Girl, a song that he himself liked. Upon discovering their common interest, the multi-bear and Dipper had a brief conversation about it before being brought back to the matter at hand. And because he was an honorable beast, the multi-bear made no attempt to take advantage of the situation and prepared to receive the final blow. He never received it because Dipper refused to kill the beast. He realized he was a nice guy, so Dipper didn't gain his manliness. If you've watched the video this far, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video, because it really helps me out, okay? See you next time, bye.